see if they can touch the hands back behind them like that, okay? So can she touch her fingers together, going in that direction? And we're seeing this scapula in particular coming way out, right? On the side where there's a lot of internal rotation. Yes? Okay. Now she switches, goes the other way. And we should expect on the internal rotation side, we should see that, right? Okay? So we're looking at that. She can get that range of motion quite easily. And it looked fairly symmetric. She could touch, it looked the same. How far she could touch on her fingers. And some of you it won't be. Some of you can't get there at all. Okay? All right? And that's something that we document if we want to. This is just a screen. So if I'm looking at this and she can't get her fingers up on this side, okay, but she can when she goes like this, and I'm going to look at, what's that? That's an internal rotation issue. So the screen just tells me that. Now, eventually I'm going to measure her internal rotation with a goniometer, and I expect to see that it's less than the other side. And that just leads me to start refining how I want to use my goniometer and my time in data collection, right? Okay. So there's that. And then after that, we would look at her active range of motion in the planes, okay, for the scapula. So for elevation, we just have her shrug her shoulders, and we watch to see symmetry. We watch to see that it's actually going where it's supposed to go, and not be doing this on its way up or down, right? Now she goes, pushes your shoulder blades down towards you behind her. There we go. So that's depression. Now relax, okay? I have her put her arms up like this, her elbows bent like this. Now bring your elbows together. What is that? Protraction or abduction. Now bring them back like this. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Very nice. Now we've got retraction or adduction of the scapulae, right? Then I have her bring her arms out to the side like this, palms up towards the ceiling. Start right here. Relax. Okay, there we go. Okay, now there, she starts right there in a rest position, right? Or relative downward rotation. Now I want you to bring your palms together above your head. Okay, what is that? Outward, upward, lateral rotation. And then I watch them come back. Do it one more time. See the superior angles? Where they go? And watch them come back down.
Whoa.
Let go and go down. Okay. So we look at them and go, ooh, that's interesting. Symmetry there. Okay? So now we're gathering information about scapular motion. All right? So those are all the directions that the scapulae can go actively, correct? The next thing I want to do is take a look at them passively. So I'll have you do this. Right way down on your back, or I mean on your side, facing me. I mix up my supines, my prones, my sidelines, my... See what happens when I do a long weekend? Put this between your knees. Right. I'm going to have her come closer to me just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to take her arm like this, and I would do this on both sides, wouldn't I? I support her arm like this. I tell her to relax, let me do all the work, and then I'm just going to move her scapula around. If I grab up here where the spine of the scapula is, and I put on the acromion with this hand, I can push her down. I capture her inferior angle here with my web space or with the heel of my hand. I can now move her into elevation, depression. I can bring her out into a protraction. I can move her into a retraction. I can get my fingers underneath there, quite a ways, right? And lift her up off the table if I want to. And then I can bring her up like this to get that outward rotation and the downward rotation, just like this. So I'm just controlling her scapula through our movements because they go together, don't they? Okay. Make sure you can try this on everyone that you work with and see if you can't get up underneath.
I know you can wait.
Those of us who carry stress, there's no way. You're not going to get even under the border at all if these muscles are tight. But this is good, useful information. She's not tacked down at all. This is a really wonderfully mobile scapula, which is just the way that I need to document it, minus the wonderful part.
Really wonderful.
Really wonderful. This is spectacular. Okay? Does that make sense? So we did that simple motion that combined several planes. Then we did active in all directions, planar, and then we did passive, just to see what kind of mobility that we have. This comes in handy when we start doing the goniometric measurements and seeing any restrictions, what correlation this has with those. All right? So let's just try all that first.